The manufacturing panorama of the last few years has changed drastically due to the way in which products are designed, manufactured, and distributed. Today, supply chain processes need to be able to adapt to the sudden fluctuations and high levels of competition characteristic of a newly and entirely open market. In the current global market, make-to-stock strategies and production have gradually given way to assembly and configure-to-order ones. Manufacturing companies that want to compete and better deal with the increasing volatility and globalization of marketplaces and scenarios need to transform in order to become even more and more agile and flexible. Without a real transformation of the processes and people, technology will not be enough. The SEDAPTA'S O.S.A. innovative platform is the right answer. Through Orchestrator, you can orchestrate new-to-be processes, tasks and activities, modeling and executing them through standard workflows expressed in BPMN notation and application interfaces. With Skillaware, you can then effectively drive the digital transformation, supporting your workforce that need to perform new processes, tasks, and activities during the adoption phase for new software systems and applications within these organizations. Finally, analytics that allows companies to retrieve big data from any source in order to assess the execution, report ROI, and drive continuous manufacturing and supply chain process improvement. The definition of our destination and map are the first two steps for managing the digital transformation. Once defined where you could benefit from digitalization, you need to define objectives and translate these objectives into measurable business outcomes. Orchestrator drives the fundamental activity in the change management process, involves the defining and modeling of a company's as-is and to-be processes. Once the target process has been identified, companies have to discover and analyze the current as-is situation in detail, understanding their maturity level. Employees have to lead this transformation, guiding the analysis and defining the most important processes in which bottlenecks significantly reduce business performance and slow down the organization's efficiency and best practices. This redesign of processes is the first step in a company's digital transformation journey. Real-time solution implementation allows companies to leverage modern technologies like mobile phones and tablets in monitoring, executing, and controlling the new processes. Orchestrator notifies users through a specific widget that a task has been assigned to them and needs to be executed. At the same time, users can find important information to execute the task in the widget. Inside the Orchestrator, web forms can be easily created to provide process-related instructions to users and retrieve relevant data from them. At runtime, the task executor will be driven by the Orchestrator through the form completion, and all the collected data will be available inside the process to be used for the definition of the flow logic or passed as input parameters to other tasks. A second and fundamental step in the digital transformation is the possibility to provide support to the people using several IT systems. Today, employees have to manage several applications for different goals: ERP systems, CRM ones, HR systems, and so on. Skillaware is the Electronic Performance Support System, EPSS, of the SEDAPTA suite that allows users to learn in the most efficient way while working, learning how to manage new systems, processes, and IT procedures directly at the workspace. More and more companies are switching to 10-20-70 method. That is an ideal mix of methodologies for the contextual learning during digital change projects that entails 10% of class training, 20% of operative training on the job, 70% of continuous use of new performance support systems capable of helping the average user during the new software adoption phases. Skillaware supports at the same time the information flow. It not only supports or controls the employee's behavior, but it is also able to retrieve important data for the workflow implementation without building any ETLs. What about to retrieve the right information without having to develop any ETLs from any data source? Finally, think about the possibility to retrieve information on different processes and IT systems. Orchestrator and Skillaware collect data during the execution of different workflow from different locations and IT systems, implementing the situational awareness. Once the destination, the outcomes, the maps, the measurements have been defined, you want to know the current situation and the progress towards this destination. It is the part that closes the loop. It is also essential to realize that, over time, this destination or outcomes also can deviate or change. Analytics supports users in the definition of dashboard through the definition of access rules and visualization options. With analytics, it is possible to create new reports simply by navigating, selecting, and application of data filters at the conclusion of each process instance. With O.S.A, your company will be able to accelerate digital transformation and continuous improvement, increase workforce engagement and enhance customer experience, measure, evaluate, and improve user performance and productivity, drive continuous digital process improvement throughout all organization levels. Are you ready for change?